Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the Mid South Wrestling Review series. We are in the last week of February 1982, and that is February 27th, 1982. And we move to Dusty Rhodes, by the way, is your guest commentator for at least part of, if not all of the show. I think it was all of. Anyway, Larry Higgins and Coco Samoa. Higgins has been here for a couple of weeks as an enhancement talent slash opening card type act. Coco Samoa, relatively new. I think this is his second or third appearance. And he manages to kind of get a bit of a following here. He is and has been a guy who never really gets a full-time push that I don't recall anywhere. Although, as I foray into the territories for the first time in some 20, 25 years, maybe I'll see differently than I remember. Anyway, shots by Higgins early, and test of strength is the battle. Samoa comes up, kind of does the double leg takedown, and Higgins goes into the ropes a bit. Pretty good, just really basic, kind of a chess match style approach to this. Strikes by Samoa early, and then he goes into an armbar, kind of handles that relatively simply. And again, Higgins comes up, manages to get a double knee, and again, there we go. Eventually, we see Samoa go to the second rope, hit a splash from the inside. Of course, top rope maneuvers banned in the Mid-South area. I don't understand quite why. Maybe it was because when guys actually did them, it meant something. I don't really know. But anyway, Paul Orndorff and Frank Monty here. Orndorff wagging a finger and kind of yelling at Monty. Monty, of course, having a tag team championship shot not too many weeks ago here. And a side headlock by Orndorff. Orndorff closer and closer to his North American Championship shot as we move forward here. Hammerlocks, and Monty's holding up pretty well. Head scissors and the like. Orndorff gets a little frustrated, finds himself on the receiving end of several arm drags, and Monty works the arm quite a bit for the next several minutes here. And then kind of we go into a series of shots, hammerlocks, switches, and the like, wrist locks. And Monty actually almost looks competitive for minutes with Orndorff, which I think to a degree is good. When you have every once in a while an enhancement talent look competitive, maybe then, if he's against another enhancement or he's against a lower card newcomer, he looks credible. I think the way AEW is doing it right now is overkill, but I think there is a way to have known talent with a guy like an upper mid card guy or a main eventer and look somewhat competitive. Head scissors takeover, done well once for Monty, not so well for the second time as Orndorff catches him with a backbreaker and then just doubles down on aggression. A second backbreaker by Orndorff. Orndorff actually ends up stumbling backwards, hitting a running power slam 1, 2, 3, and gets a victory there. We then move to the North American Championship match. The grappler, Len Denton, against Ted DiBiase for the North American Championship. I don't know if that was because he was just passing through or whether they kind of made him a major guy in the area prior to this time point. But anyway, really good match. And if you are going out of your way to see something in Mid-South from this era, worth checking out this match. DiBiase with some arm bars and the like, and arm ringers, both guys feeling each other out early in the contest. Not really a major thing. They do the old crisscross spot, and DiBiase is able to handle his opponent relatively simply. Chops and forearms. DiBiase takes him down with an arm drag armbar, and DiBiase spends the next couple of minutes working over the arm. And obviously, the grappler looks good. Grappler was a major force in World Class. And if you haven't heard our World Class series, over 340 episodes of it available right here on this channel, so worth doing. Eventually, we're going to have all the territories that are available in playlists for your listening pleasure, and that's going to be a fun ride. Anyway, short shot by the grappler, and kind of a snapmare takeover, drop of the knee, and the like. Slower paced match, but that's what's needed here. Grappler with a bear hug on DiBiase. Doesn't get all he wants on that. DiBiase fights his way free and is still staggering and stunned, as well he should be. Both guys do a double down soon thereafter, and actually Grappler up to his feet before DiBiase misses with a elbow drop and another one, or actually a forearm drop there. Working over the leg of DiBiase, trying to tear out the knee using the ropes. Tries to get a figure four on DiBiase, doesn't get what he wants. DiBiase kicks him off, and then again going back to the legs, and the referee is frustrated by all of that. Grappler goes to the outside. DiBiase slams him from the top rope back to the inside, actually with a modified suplex attempt, 1-2 kick out there, and the grappler is less than happy. Grappler loads up the boot and manages to get caught with a knee lift, followed by a back suplex. DiBiase with a bridge and gets a victory there, rolling out in a hurry. Anyway, we see a brawl now. Bob Roop brawling with Dusty Rhodes. Future match between them down the road. Rhodes insulting, Roop insulting Rhodes a bit, and that breaks down. Mr. Olympia and Ed Wiskowski up next, and ultimately Olympia with his, I think, Louisiana championship still intact at this point. Wiskowski has been pretty dominant in the last several months, with a few exceptions, and the Mr. Olympia, with a small package early, goes for the attempted victory pretty quickly, which I always like when guys do. It's about winning, not about spots, and so when you have a guy who is caring about winning, certainly as a champion, it makes sense. Actually, a hip toss into an attempted roll through, but holds on to the headlock. Holding on to holds, another huge thing that we miss today, I think, in terms of just, following through on holds. Groin shot by Wiskowski gives him an advantage, and he holds it for the next couple of minutes. Punches, kicks, really basic offense, but that's all he needs. He's got a size advantage on most people in Mid-South in terms of height. Some shots, almost forearms to the stomach, which is an interesting thing. Always interesting when you see different style strikes that aren't typical. They don't even have to be, finishes or major things, but guys doing different things for the sake of being different. Always a good thing now and again. And Olympia sends his adversary into the top turnbuckle, roll over and roll up. Wiskowski gets, kind of tangled up in that. Backslide attempted, but Olympia out the back door of the backslide. And then, Wiskowski uses his weight quite a bit to gain an advantage there. And Olympia finally makes his way back to his feet. They go into a brawling sequence for a few minutes, and Snapmare Takeover drops the forearm right across the top of the face. Kind of catches him on the nose, I think, and then a roll-up 1-2-3. Olympia gets the victory. Here we move on to an enhancement-style match. Bob Sweetan and Tony Torres. Sweetan really not here very long that I recall, but he's here for a little bit. And, uses a bit of power. He actually is one of the I don't know that the first, but a very early adapter to the Tombstone Piledriver in a modified manner. I think Morocco might have been doing it first. I know Dynamite Kid was doing it in Japan around this same era, 82, 83. But here we do see him use it upon occasion. He snaps his man over and is pretty assertively aggressive with the snapmare, among other things. Brings him back to the feet using the side headlock takeover. Really basic stuff. And then we see the continuation of the match. Sweet 10, of course, more on the brawler side. And that is, you need that. You need guys that are of different styles. One thing, and if I'm honest, that Mid-South lacks is a high flyer here and there. I think having one match per show that was more speed-based would have been good, just to set things apart. Maybe that comes in the later... I'm sure with Rock and Roll Express and Midnight Express in 84 that comes about, but we'd like to see it earlier than that. Anyway, drop of the knee by Sweet Tan, and he gets a victory there. Think about that. A knee drop is a victory. Anyway, about 8 minutes for the main event, which is B. Brian Blair and the Junkyard Dog versus the Samoans. Of course, Samoans still your tag team champions, managed by Skandor Akbar. Dog always in the hunt for gold, no matter whether it's tag team or a regional championship. And this is certainly a time when things are built around the Dog. B. Brian Blair, this is his second tag team championship shot in the last few weeks. Frank Monty was a tag team partner for him. He's obviously upgraded tag team partners with the Dog here. And Dog, and I believe Sika, starting off. Always kind of hard for me to tell the Samoans apart. I've always had that difficulty. I actually used to say that to Samu, and he jokingly said to me in a locker room one night, well, sometimes we have trouble telling ourselves apart, and he was very sympathetic. I knew who he was because he was the only Samoan on the show, but I just mentioned that it's hard to sometimes tell the members of his family apart. Anyway, big kick to the I guess you'd say, top of the head by one of the Samoans. They cut off Brian Blair pretty well. One thing the Samoans do very well is brawl. They also cut off the ring on opponents quite well. Actually, I'm hoping I can find some of the handheld footage of Mid-South from this era as well once I've finished the week-by-week episodic television. But anyway, because there's some house show matches that I'm sure I haven't seen that I would love to see. Anyway, we kind of move into the match being a bit more of a brawl, especially when the Junkyard Dog comes in there. Forearms and headbutts by the Dog. The crowd really does, even in a television setting, come alive for the Dog. Dog manages to take on both members of the Samoans for a few minutes here, and Akbar up on the ring apron. Notice he doesn't do a bunch of interfering, but does gain advantages when it's necessary. Referee out of position after the thump power slam by the Dog, and that gives the Samoans a chance to, break up the pinfall attempt. I love the fact that referees don't look stupid. They just look sometimes out of position. And also the distraction finish of a manager is valuable. Several diving headbutts by the Samoans on the prone Dog. I believe at this point in the match, Brian Blair on the floor injured or something such. But in any event, that's pretty major there. Referee goes down. Referee has been, absconded, accosted, whatever you want to say. Running out of television time, and probably at this point about a minute and a half left in television time. Meanwhile, the Dog has taken a beating for about 3-4 minutes, maybe a little longer than that. And the Samoans are really taking over. Mr. Olympia runs out and is going after the Samoans, ends up interfering in the match, and sends Akbar to the floor. So he may be a tag team championship challenger with the Dog or another partner somewhere in the future. But needless to say, we go off the air. I believe, yeah, we go off the air without a direct victory because of the nature of the referee being down, and that will close us for February of this year, 1982. We'll be back with more right after this.